Welcome back to Smoke Signals, everybody. I'm Matt Montgomery, along with head football coach Wayne Coleman. The Fighting Indians took another district loss the other night against Nacogdoches, a team coach that, my goodness, I can't believe they just won one game. That was about one of the most physical games that Jacksonville has had this year, even just as physical as the Ennis game. I mean, they're a good football team. I really don't understand how that team's won one game.
Yeah, they've got a really good team. They lost to Ennis by one touchdown. Played them really tough. They just have not put it all together this year and been making a lot of mistakes. And then they played a clean game Friday night against us.
Yeah, I think clean's the word. You guys started off just like you did against Lindale. You went all the way down the field, had a tremendous drive. The difference is you scored against Lindale, but you didn't score the other night. And then Nacogdoches turns around and just runs the table, go up 27-0 before you guys could even look up.
Yeah, it was a good opening drive for us. We got it down there, and then of course we caught the ball out of the back of the end zone, missed it by an inch or two from Cash having his feet in, made a great catch. But anyway, people say it's a game of inches. It really is sometimes.
Yeah, that was key. I mean, Cam thought he was thrown into the wind, so I think he felt like he had to kind of put a little bit more on it. I don't know if he knows how strong his arm really is, but it was a tough play. But Nacogdoches are very, very, very strong physically. We got kind of beat up the other night. I mean, they had some players leaving the field too. I mean, it was physical from both sides.
Sure, there was a lot of big hits going on, and we got some kids banged up. Hopefully we'll get most of them back this week.
Still were able to run the ball with zone read. Cam had another big game. Went over 1,000 yards in rushing this year. That's the first Jacksonville runner. I mean, he's a quarterback, but it's the first backfield person who's had over 1,000 yards in several years. I think about 10 years. So he really has executed that play really well. And Nacogdoches kind of stopped a little bit better than some teams that Jacksonville's played the last couple of weeks, but he still had a good game doing that.
He did. He's hard to stop. It's just you've got to have more ways to move the ball and put the ball in the end zone than just Cam. And actually, in the second half, we came out and our running backs got going a little bit.
They did.
So that was a good sign.
And defensively, Nacogdoches did a lot of twists, it looked like, up front. I mean, they were doing a lot of stunt, a lot of twists up front and everything, and having a hard time picking some of those guys up, and they were physically strong too.
Yeah, and we lost Blake at left tackle early in the game, so we had to start making some substitutions, and it took those new kids a little while to get adjusted to it. But then by halftime, when we came out in the second half, our new kids we had in there did a good job.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights now from Jacksonville versus Nacogdoches last week. Coach's first play, got your points on the board right here. Jacoby takes it in after a nice play by Christian.
Yeah, good hustle right there. Kids did their job. We've always got one guy assigned to block and one guy to feather across for scoop and score, and Jacoby did a good job right there.
Here's a nice run by Wooder right here after getting the handoff from Cam.
Yeah, this must be second half. Wooder got going a little bit. He's really a physical runner.
Oh, and that was a brutal run right there.
The kids were a little fired up about the cheap shot that Will Garland had to take in the first half, so they came out with a little fire in on the second half.
There's Cameron with a touchdown here, fighting his way in. And it seems like it's been a big play year against the defense, and here's one right here. This cat is good. And this number 15, Gregory, their leading receiver.
Yeah, he's a good player. That middle screen has hurt us a couple times this year when we've brought pressure, and that's what you do when you got a team that's bringing pressure, is try to beat them with the screen game.
Here's Cam coming out on the zone read again, gets a good block downfield.
Yeah, we got a couple of really good blocks there by Lavender and McDowell, and those guys did a good job the other night.
So here's the guy that everybody was watching, Brandon Jones. Had a documentary there being done on him during the game. He's the real deal, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a special kid, really good athlete, and the great thing is everyone I talk to tells me he's a great kid too.
And here's another Brandon Jones highlight right here as he gets the punt out of the end zone. And, of course, you lost Juan Nunez, too. He injured his leg when he was roughed. But here's Brandon Jones getting the punt, and, my goodness, he just does what he does.
Yeah, he's a great player. And there's a reason he's going to play Division I football. Pretty obvious on that play.
And here's Here's a pretty nifty play here by Terrence Silman. Man, he picks this thing up, and my goodness, Terrence looks like he could get some carries for it. He's smoking right there.
Yeah, it's good to see Terrence get something like that because he's worked so hard for us all year, and it's good to see his hard work pay off for him.
60-yard scoop and score for Terrence Silman. I like to see that too because Terrence is he's one of those guys we call a program kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in the program, he stuck it out, and nice to see him have that kind of success. But Coach, tough game. I know that not what was expected after the Lindale game. Just this is a team still looking, still trying to find it.
Yeah, looking back at the game and comparing the two games, when Cam got loose in the Lindale secondary, he was able to make some really big runs. When he got loose in the Nacogdoches secondary, with them having Brandon Jones and better athletes in the back end, some of those big plays he was making against Lindale, they turned into 10-yard plays instead of 30 and 40-yard plays. I think that might have been the key as far as us offensively not getting the ball in the end zone the first half.
Yeah, and that's a good point because they have another D1 defensive back there in that Lane kid. I think he's the one that cheap shotted Will over on the sidelines. But yeah, they had some guys that would run you down. There was a difference in athleticism.
No doubt, and we had a play. There was another play in the third quarter where Cam finally got loose and. Literally, he stepped out of bounds on our sideline by 1 inch, and he was gone to the house. It was going to be a big 60-yard touchdown for us. But with the Cash's catch in the back of the end zone in the first half, and then Cam stepping out of bounds by an inch in the second half, points are so hard to come by. You just need a break when those chances come.
Well, Jacksonville is back at home finally this week, Coach. White House comes to the Tomato Bowl, and this is a White House team that has a couple of wins. They've been struggling too, and they throw the ball around a lot. And I'm sure that you kind of look at some of the history of this. Jacksonville has not beaten White House in 10 years. It was 2005 the last time that Jacksonville won, and you were in Jacksonville all those years when Jacksonville just dominated White House, and that tide has turned. This seems like a year where Jacksonville and White House match up much better. There's not a Patrick Mahomes and some of those players that they've had in the past. But they still have some good cats.
They've had some great players over the last 10 years. Lots of kids going to play Division I football. And but I think things are more balanced this year. I think it should be a good contest. Our kids, we've had some tough games, but our kids' attitude is great, and they're still coming to work, and we'll be ready.
It's one thing I noticed in the Nacogdoches game. The kids just keep playing. And that's something I got to say, in being down on the sidelines when Jacksonville has been down like that in the past 2 or 3 years, that hasn't, maybe longer than that. I'm not trying to say anybody in the past didn't keep, but it just seemed like they just continue to play. And I know that you and your coaching staff, that's something that y'all continue to do on the sidelines is keep coaching, keep playing, don't worry about the scoreboard. And I'm seeing that, and that's got to make you feel good as a head coach.
Yeah, we have, I have a saying I tell the kids, every play is just a play. When that play is over, whether it's a good play or a bad play, it really doesn't matter. The most important play is always the next play.
Yeah.
So when that play is over, throw it in the trash and get ready for the next play. And forget about the last play, because whatever happened in the last play is not going to help you on the next play. You got to be focused and ready to go. And each play there's going to be between 160 and 180 games, or 160 and 180 plays. So you've got to constantly be going, all right, next play, next play, next play. It's a 180 question test.
Yeah.
And you just got to be ready to go on the next one and quit, and don't worry about what just happened, and concentrate on the next one.
White House coming in with another spread offense, just like you saw against Nacogdoches, and I think more true spread than Nacogdoches. Nacogdoches could really run the ball. It looked like, you couldn't really tell they were a spread team the way they were running the ball. Mm-hmm. But White House comes in, they made a quarterback change early in the year and went with Tanner Roach, and he's throwing the ball around pretty well. They've got the Smith kid at running back. Talk about White House and what you've scouted, what you've seen they do well.
The biggest concern with them is their up-tempo, just being able to get lined up on defense. And we've seen on video them make big plays only because the defense couldn't get lined up in time. Mm-hmm. So you've got to simplify your game plan and make sure your kids are lined up and ready to go, and then take it from there. So, that is the advantage of the up-tempo, and it keeps you from doing some things on defense. But maybe at this point, maybe that's the best thing for our kids.
Defensively, White House has given up a lot of points this year. Talk about what your offense will do. Will it be same old, just run the zone read till they take it away and then throw? And
well, we got to do what we do the best. We can't try to make ourselves into something that we're not. Fortunately, last Friday night in the second half, our running backs got going a little bit and we got a little physical run game up inside there in the second half. So hopefully we can build on that and combine that with what Cam's doing on the edges.
You made some defensive changes against Lindale a couple of weeks ago and then carried that forward into the NAC game. And will you continue to make those changes? Are you pretty well set with personnel and what you think? I mean, I know you added the Whitaker kid that came in late last week and transferred in, so that was a change. Wood have played the whole game on the defensive line.
Yeah.
So will you continue to try to do those types of things?
Yeah, and not just that we want to, but also injuries force you into making changes. So we've got some kids banged up. We'll make some changes. Really excited about Wooda's performance on the defensive line, the effort he plays with, and he's turning out to be a real treat, a surprise for us this year on defense.
Yeah, he's really wrecking things up front, and that helps players like Dedrick Tatum and Deverick Tatum come up and make some plays. Those kids were all over the field the other night.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Dedrick gets freed up to run around and make plays while the defensive line is doing their job up front.
Coach, talk about what are the keys for your team to get this win Friday night at Tomato Bowl?
Yeah, I think we got to get lined up on defense, keep it simple, keep the ball in front of us. We're giving up too many big plays on defense. And then on offense, I think we've got to keep doing what we're doing. We've got to pound the rock. We got to win the time of possession, which we're usually pretty good at. And really, I think things will take care of themselves. We're not turning the ball over very much.
Yeah, great improvement in that area.
Yeah, we're doing some good things. We just got to have confidence in what we're doing, play with confidence, and believe you should beat these guys.
Yeah. Well, it's Jacksonville versus White House at Tomato Bowl. Kickoff will be at 7:30. We'll be in the air at 7 o'clock on 103.9 for head coach Wayne Coleman. I'm Matt Montgomery. We'll see you next time right here on Smoke Signals.